like The Office or Parks and Rec or whatever, but with monsters or whatever as a backdrop. Cool. So check it out if you're into that. Enough people are loving it where they're going to come back for 2020. So look out for that. In some kind of more sad news, former Buffy star Nicholas Brandon, aka Xander, has been officially charged with domestic violence against his spouse.
Which one was he?
Xander, the dude, the best friend guy. Buffy's best friend.
With the brown hair, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I know.
Yeah. The main dude, yeah. And he's like he always gets his ass whooped.
Yeah.
Dude.
Dang.
Yeah, I guess he, I don't know if they live in Riverside or something, but they were at a hotel in Palm Springs recently. And within the past couple years, but I guess it's just coming out now. But they were at a hotel in the restaurant or something in Palm Springs, and he was drunk, and his wife got up to walk away from him, and he jerked her back by the arm, right, and sat her back down, and then she tried to leave again, and I guess he yanked her by her hair in public.
Yeah.
To sit her down.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Yeah, so of course the cops were called. He was arrested, and there's a gnarly mugshot online. If anyone's interested in seeing that, it's pretty scary.
Jeez.
But yeah, so yeah, that sucks for Buffy fans,
right?
You know, but also it's pretty interesting because these people aren't perfect, I guess. So
there you go.
Yeah, stop being a piece of shit, Xander. Seriously.
Yeah.
The fuck. Moving on. Disney has announced the New Mutants will now release in theaters again on April 3rd, 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Surprising. It's funny because the news we keep hearing, it's going back and forth. They're looking for a streaming service. They're having problems with reshoots.
Honestly, I think so many. They probably got pissed that the digital thing became such a big thing. So they're like, let's pull the wool out of over everyone's eyes and fucking do a theatrical release. Fucking like we don't. Who gives a shit if this tanks? We don't care. We're Disney.
This is gonna be the last. From what I hear, it's gonna be the last X-Men thing in a while until they decide to pull them. I'm
alright with that. Like just
let it cool down for a little bit.
Maybe they'll can bring it back in the multiverse.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. But did you know? Did you hear the interview with what's her name? She's in the movie. She was in Thoroughbreds and Split.
And Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, they asked her like, "Oh, when can we expect?"
You sent me the video.
Yeah, when can we expect? Sometime in the future.
I don't know.
It's like, whoa.
Her face was just like, whoa. I don't know.
She's like, "Fuck this movie."
So over it. We already talked about It Chapter 2, which we'll talk about next week after we view the trailer. I'm sure it's awesome. Hopefully more scary. Tessa Farmiga, if anybody's... I know that you're familiar with her. She's from The Nun. Will star in this week's episode of The Twilight Zone.
Ooh, okay. Which
will have dropped Thursday. When you're listening to this, it'll be Friday. So if you have CBS All Access, or if you don't, do the free trial, whatever they have. Maybe check out Twilight Zone, because Tessa's awesome. And that's the end of my news, I think, unless you have anything you forgot.
I just gotta say that I'm kind of annoyed with all these damn streaming services.
Yeah, there's too many to keep up with.
What's the?
It's like why? For me, it's like why you're canceling cable, and then you're paying the same amount or more to have 10 different streaming services or whatever you have.
But in reality, it's like cable you don't really have, on demand and stuff, but you don't have the kind of versatility that you do with the streaming services. Like you have the direct, I can watch whatever the fuck I want, turn it off when I want. The cable's more like waiting for the programming to start. And it's almost like, that's the thing, is we're at that tipping point of cable's becoming a dinosaur. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways, but also these streaming services, they want to kick up their fucking rates, and it's ridiculous. You know, that's why I like things like Shudder, where they're charging you like $3.99, $4.99, which is not compared to
a great price.
To Netflix, who are now charging me $14.99.
Yes, you're paying $15 a month now.
Jesus, man.
And yeah.
Wow.
That, and I really do think that price might change when Disney Plus comes out, because they're going to be
lowballing
they're
Netflix.
$6.99, and but I am also saying that Disney Plus is probably going to raise their prices after probably about a year, or when they get their quota for how many they think they need to keep a positive money flow, and I think that's when they'll raise it up maybe $2 or $3, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably keep it low just
to compete with Netflix is perfect. I mean, and the vast variety of films they have at their disposal, they could just fucking pick out whatever the fuck they want, and fuck it.
And now it's time for the weekly recommendations.
All right, man. James, we'll kick it back down to you. What are the recs for this week?
Alright, so my first rec is Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, the Ted Bundy biopic, starring Zac Efron. So, that movie, have either of you seen it yet?
I did.
I haven't seen it.
What did you think about it?
Alright, yeah, I watched it the other day. I agree that it didn't need to be released in theaters.
Yeah.
I think it's like a low, not to say that it wasn't good, because I did enjoy it for what it was, but I could see why this would be appeal more to like the streaming services, like that streaming service film, how do you say, like,
community?
Yeah.
Did it get a limited release or anything? Theatrical release?
I'm not sure. I want to say, yeah, I think...
I know it was screened.
Yeah. And definitely in film festivals, yeah first.
Maybe Sundance.
Stuff like that, yeah.
But, yeah, I thought it was really effective. I was impressed with how respectful it maintains, to the victims and to everything. It doesn't really, to me, it didn't glorify Ted.
Not at all.
It really played...
For me, it really showed how manipulative and even like charismatic he is, for him to have gotten away with all the stuff that he did, and how the type of psycho he was,
how good he was at playing the victim and fooling so many people, all these people for so long during those trials. It's intense, and I would be curious to talk to somebody who's unfamiliar with Ted Bundy and the history, and we'll have them watch this movie and see how they perceive it, because they really play it where if you're not familiar with him, you kind of start to be like, well, did he really do
You
this?
kind of feel bad for him.
Because you're like...
you shouldn't, but
because it's almost like...
Because he plays a real good job of being like, I'm being framed. My name was released before, any of this I had even been accused of anything, so the police already had picked me. And, stuff like that. So I hands down, I think Zac Efron is fucking... His acting chops are fucking 5 stars in this one.
Yeah, this was actually one of my recommendations too.
Oh, nice.
Because it stood out so much to me. I know we've been waiting for a while to watch this.
Yeah.
And I know online it's getting a lot of hate, of course, because Zac is portraying him, and because a lot of people think that Zac is attractive.
Yeah.
They think that it's weird. They can't look past that. But at the same time, Ted Bundy, in his time, he was considered by a lot of females a pretty good-looking dude, and that's how he was able to get close to a lot of these victims. And he was very charming, and of course he went to law school, and they kind of...
a smart guy.
They brush on that in the movie, that he could just fucking talk. He knew how to talk. He knew how to talk his way out of stuff, And I don't want to spoil too much of it. I don't think we've really.
I don't think you can really spoil it. I mean, if you know who Ted Bundy is, you know what.
But
but definitely check this out. You get a more deeper look into that whole situation of what happened. Check that out on Netflix. And my next one is, I think, a Netflix original also. It's called Remastered: Devil at the Crossroads, and it's a kind of a movie kind of about Robert Johnson. I don't know if you guys know who he is. Kind of, they said he's the kind of the creator of what we know as rock and blues now. The things that he did back in the day, playing at like little or the clubs and stuff in Mississippi and in the South like that. A lot of mystery about this guy and how he became so good at what he does or what he did, and his early death. He's one of the guys who joined that club of dying at 27, I think, along with a lot of other famous musicians. But yeah, definitely check that out if you are into music and I guess into blues too.
Very
check
nice.
It out, yeah. Robert Johnson.
Anything else?
Those are my two. Nope.
Diego.
I would have to say it is. He's just not that into you.
Okay.
Which I watched recently because I haven't seen it in close to 3-4 years, and I saw it on HBO.
Okay, all right.
It was fun. That's my one review. I mean, my one recommendation, and another one. I don't think I've ever said it, but Closer with Natalie Portman, Clive Owen.
I'm pretty sure.
That I said it.
Closer again. No problem.
Nice.
Always a classic, bro. I can't emphasize how good this movie is, how the cut and the story and the pace of it goes. Feels like it is like an hour and 30 minutes, maybe like 2 hours and 30 minutes, but it doesn't feel that way. It just makes you feel like it's been
smooth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those my two recs, right?
Nice.
Closer and
he's just not that into you.
All right.
Cool. All right. So one of them was extremely wicked and shockingly evil and vile for me. I really enjoyed it. I know it's not going to be for everybody. I read my buddy Christian's review for it this morning, and he trashed on it hard.
Really?
He gave it like a 1.5 stars. He said that Zac Efron can't act his way out of a paper bag and that he sucks. And he asked, why was this movie made again? And when is Mindhunters coming back? So huge shade.
Yeah. It's not for everybody.
Not for everybody. But shout out to him because he always makes me laugh with this. He fucking goes for the jugular with his reviews, man. I can't wait to have him on and see what he says.
Yes.
In our faces. It's going to be awesome. My other rec is The Long Shot.
Okay.
With Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen. It's out in theaters right now. I know
you just recently saw that, right?
I did. I saw it the Friday that it dropped. This past Friday, I think. And it's amazing. It's like it's kind of a throwback, like 90s rom-com, but in contemporary times.
Gotcha.
You know, it plays with, it has like that kind of, how do you say, like dirty humor mixed with like today's politics, and it's very self-aware and I think necessary. And I don't know how to quite explain
dirty humor, like in Knocked Up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like there's that.
Pretty much most of Seth Rogen's movies.
Even though he has a lot more depth here.
Oh yeah.
Then you would expect, like he's really good, and then their chemistry, him and Charlize's chemistry, which is really cool. You can tell like there was an actual like sparks. You know what I mean? At least on screen, like there. their stuff together was super rad. The Long Shot. Go check it out. I think it's got really an 87 on Rotten right now.